50, same. 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had.
So they don't give you the trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get the trophies. Jay got all of my trophies, man, because he signed that contract.
What contract?
The one with Beyonce.
When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. He started getting Grammys left and right, man.
The kids even have Grammys. Like, they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet.
Come on, and he ain't show up. He got like 20 now.
Yeah, you what's the science? What's today's mathematics?
Yeah. This is, by the way, this isn't even my chain. I stole it from somebody. Yeah. I'll tell y'all who that was.
Uh-oh. Stealing chains now?
Yeah. Not really stealing.
Does it mean anything to you though?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, you know, you got a lot of people who are not really happy about the fact that, you know, my album is about to drop. You know, they're not really happy about, you know, Lord, give me a sign. And, you know, we in here and, you know, things of that nature. But you know what?
Eminem is stirring up controversy once again this time, setting his sights directly on Jay-Z and Beyoncé without holding back. While he's been vocal in supporting 50 Cent in the past, he's now diving much deeper. Eminem is making bold claims that Jay and Beyoncé haven't just snubbed fellow artists, they've allegedly played a role in ending some careers from behind the scenes. Let's not forget, Eminem and Jay-Z already had tension when Jay reportedly tried to prevent 50 Cent from performing at the Super Bowl. That didn't sit well with Eminem, and now he's voicing his perspective more openly than ever.
I know what you did to Nas, Jay. That's tough. Nah, he come out on the same weekend.
Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop it.
When is she coming out? My shit coming out.
I never understood that. Every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on time.
Why do you do that, man? I be saying that I do whatever the fuck I want to do, and they be looking at me like I'm grimy for doing that. Just to be super quiet doing some real grimy.
Eminem is shining a light on the darker side of the music industry, calling out what he sees as manipulative tactics used by top-tier artists to maintain their dominance. According to him, certain A-listers engage in ruthless behavior to eliminate competition. When it comes to Jay-Z and Beyoncé, he suggests they've allegedly derailed the careers of several prominent artists. Some of the names mentioned include Big L, DMX, and Aaliyah figures who left too soon. But others didn't pass away, they simply faded from the industry without explanation. Artists like Amory and Carrie Hilson disappeared right as their careers were taking off. Now, speculation is pointing toward the Carters.
Put out a statement and you posted a picture. But yo, that video with Marshall and Haley.
This is so crazy. There was points that we was receiving wow offers. Like they'll go, 50 Cent Eminem, this is out for tour opportunity. He would go, nah, I just don't want to go and come back and she's grown. I want to miss my daughter, man. Right, and I'm like, yo, because I was like, yo, you didn't hear how much money they just had? Why do you want to stay here? I didn't understand it when he was saying it, but then later, like, I went to a wedding, and I'm like, yo, now I get it. Because that was fast, bro. Marshall's a grandfather, man. That's the part I was dealing with, because I'm like, I'm old as hell. I'm like, what the hell happened to me? I'm still in the gym, it just hurts a little bit. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still there. I'm looking going, what the hell happened? Man.
So why are influential figures like Eminem and 50 Cent speaking out now? Could this signal cracks forming in the Carter empire? What's really unfolding behind closed doors, and how many artists were quietly sidelined along the way? Eminem may not dominate social media like 50 Cent, but his words carry weight. He's clearly against those who climb higher by stepping on others, and that critique appears to include Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
But they keep showing up next to things that I don't fuck with. That's an indication to me he might have some feelings towards me. That is just everywhere I got an issue. He show up around me. So I mean, if you don't forget music, because music ain't usually my motivation. My morals come off the curb. So if you see it, keep being around niggas, when you come around, how your antennas go. So he in a position where he might feel like he did.
For Eminem, this issue goes beyond music, it's deeply personal. His bond with 50 Cent is more than professional. It's a lifelong friendship. 50 even revealed he got emotional and cried during Eminem's daughter Haley's wedding, highlighting just how close they are. On the flip side, 50's feud with Jay-Z has been brewing for years and shows no signs of ending. Considering Eminem's fierce loyalty, it's safe to say he's firmly on 50's side. As 50 has said before, if you align with his enemies, you become one yourself.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor, right? But when you look at M, is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself. I'm shady after that. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much G-Unit records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre.
Sure, Eminem and Jay-Z collaborated on a few tracks in the early 2000s. But that dynamic shifted dramatically once Eminem allegedly learned that Jay was working behind the scenes to sabotage 50 Cent's success. Then in 2023, 50 Cent laid everything on the table, publicly accusing Jay-Z of using his influence with the NFL to block 50 from performing at the Super Bowl. But the move didn't work. According to 50, Eminem stepped in and made it crystal clear to the NFL if 50 is not performing, neither is he.
You have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? You know, and that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal.
Now, 50 Cent and Eminem are united in challenging the Carters over their alleged manipulation of the Grammy Awards. Both artists have accused Jay and Beyoncé of using behind-the-scenes tactics to secure awards they may not have earned. 50 even suggested that Jay uses his marriage to Beyoncé as leverage in the industry. Meanwhile, Eminem has long criticized the Grammys, calling them a rigged system that rewards connections over talent. He's been vocal about his disappointment and has made it clear he's done with the Grammys and has no intention of attending again.
Watch 50, saying 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever, I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I.
Eminem made it clear he wouldn't be upset about losing if the winner had truly delivered a better album. What truly bothered him was how the Grammys built anticipation around him, only to shut him out. They used his name, presence, and buzz to boost viewership, then walked away without acknowledging him. When someone asked if he considered returning, maybe if he could influence how winners are selected, Eminem didn't hesitate. He said it wouldn't change a thing because in his view, the system is flawed from the beginning. The votes, he said, hold no real value.
Consider, joining the board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. Like, it ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. Only lottie-dottie.
50 Cent didn't hold back either. He went even further, claiming that Jay-Z's Grammy wins aren't about the music, they're about his relationship. According to 50, Jay and Beyoncé receive awards simply because their presence alone boosts viewership. That, he says, is all the Grammys are concerned with, ratings over artistry. During his appearance on the Flagrant podcast, 50 emphasized this point, stating that the awards Jay collects have more to do with Beyoncé's influence than with Jay's lyrics. He kept it blunt, then took things in a more controversial direction.
Received the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. That's how I get
50 went on to question the authenticity of Jay and Beyoncé's relationship, calling it more of a contract than a love story. He suggested that the couple might be staying together to maintain their image and status. And it didn't stop there. In a conversation with Flea in an interview hosted by Cameron, 50 called Jay out again, this time accusing him of continuing to make shady moves behind the scenes, not just in music, but in the business world too. According to 50, Jay has nothing left to prove, yet he's still allegedly interfering in deals out of spite. It raised more than a few eyebrows.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got, he's like drinking. His picture with him things the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
What's more, 50 Cent isn't the only one raising these claims. For years, there have been quiet rumors suggesting Jay-Z has been quietly obstructing others out of competitiveness or control. One of the most talked about stories involves Harlem's own Big L, the same artist credited with helping Jay rise early in his career. Fans continue to question the circumstances around Jay's rapid success, especially given the mystery surrounding Big L's tragic death in the 90s. Big L was a respected figure in Harlem's underground rap scene, known for his incredible freestyle talent. In 1992, he signed with Columbia Records and released a strong debut. But despite positive attention, Columbia ended the partnership in less than a year, citing creative differences.
This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing with the Super Bowl. Because he was doing like, yeah, go ahead. Doing some wild shit. Because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Like, makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that don't know, talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take your competition from, like, our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then
I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for? What's the goal? Like this even like a lot of the even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? It changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that they called it babbling in our culture.
Right.
Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what.
Yet, many believe there's more beneath the surface. After being dropped, Big L didn't quit. He went independent and founded his own label, Flamboyant Entertainment. He got to work on his second album, and his efforts soon caught the attention of Rockefeller co-founder Dame Dash. Reports say Dame was planning to sign Big L and his crew as a group. Everything seemed to be aligning until tragedy struck. Big L was killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The event rocked the community. What made it more complex was that a childhood friend, Gerard Woodley, was arrested in connection with the case. However, due to a lack of solid evidence, he was released shortly after.
Everybody about Big L, Sean.
Big L?
I would just rather do it on the stand, Sean. Please sue me. I want to go to court. And I want to talk about Big L on the stand.
Wow.
Big L was the one that put Jay-Z on. Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive. His death made it possible for Reasonable Doubt to live.
Whoa.
See how good I keep.
Jump to 2016, Woodley was fatally shot in Harlem. To this day, Big L's murder remains unresolved. This is where speculation begins. Industry voices like Jaguar Wright have come forward with strong allegations suggesting Jay-Z might have knowledge about what really happened. She's implied that his silence isn't just curious, it might actually be revealing. And Big L isn't the only hip-hop legend whose story intersects with Jay-Z in unsettling ways. Enter DMX, another icon who passed under mysterious conditions shortly after allegedly accusing Jay of working against him behind the scenes.
There was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my...
When DMX died in April 2021, Jay-Z made an appearance on LeBron's show, expressing all the right sentiments. He said there was always mutual respect and admiration, and that their energy remained positive even during X's struggles. But devoted DMX fans remember a different narrative.
Like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. You know, I go to do the 6th album, and you know,
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, MH is running the building, like, yo, you good? Finished the album, shoot the video. What happened? Go on vacation and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then...
Before his death, DMX had publicly accused Jay-Z of being driven by control and competition to the point where he personally delayed the release of DM's 6th album. That goes beyond conflict, that's a deep betrayal. The tension reportedly escalated in 2004 when Jay-Z stepped into the role of president at Def Jam Records, succeeding Lyor Cohen. From that point on, DMX claimed the dynamics shifted dramatically. Despite being the label's top performer with 5 consecutive #1 albums from 1998 to 2003, things started deteriorating after Jay took charge.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again.
DMX alleged that once Jay-Z held the reins, he deliberately blocked the release of Year of the Dog. Again, the reason? According to DMX, Jay didn't want to face serious competition during his own return to the spotlight. X also pointed to how Jay treated another artist, Redman, saying it was clear Jay was clearing obstacles for his own benefit.
I don't think one man can destroy, you know what I mean? It's like, it's ultimately in your decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close. And I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like,
DMX wasn't alone in feeling sidelined. Beanie Sigel faced similar roadblocks. At one point, Beanie was on the rise, building momentum with acclaimed releases and becoming one of the key faces of Rockefeller. But then, things took a turn. According to Beanie and his circle, Jay began to see Beanie's success as a potential threat. Allegedly, Jay began delaying Beanie's album launches as well, slowing his momentum.
Beyoncé, I was hurt. Because I heard that you said you wouldn't perform unless you won Video of the Year over me and over Hotline Bling. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my...
And the pattern didn't end there. Reports suggest Jay would strategically release his own projects around the same time Beanie's music was scheduled, undercutting the impact and visibility of Beanie's work. On top of that, Beanie's camp claims Jay-Z only allowed a small batch of records to be pressed, severely limiting the reach from the start. Some might write this off as artists venting frustrations, but when multiple well-known figures from different corners of the industry share the same kind of stories, it raises important questions. Is it all just resentment, or is Jay-Z the common thread in these accounts of behind-the-scenes obstruction? Even Kanye West, once extremely loyal to Jay and who considered him family, eventually voiced concerns, hinting that their relationship got so strained he feared for his safety.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name.
This wasn't just a case of tension, it felt like betrayal driven by fear. Still, Kanye didn't hold back. He openly criticized both Jay-Z and Beyoncé, calling them industry pawns who follow orders to maintain their position. Now let's talk about Beyoncé, widely seen as a symbol of empowerment. But behind the scenes, several accusations suggest she may have played a role in sidelining other female artists seen as rivals. One of the most persistent claims involves her alleged envy toward the late Aaliyah. This wasn't just about talent or fame, it was reportedly personal. Before Jay-Z was with Beyoncé, sources like Dame Dash say he was deeply interested in Aaliyah, but she didn't return the same energy. Then suddenly, Beyoncé entered the picture and things shifted. Jay and Beyoncé went public with their relationship in 2001, just months after Aaliyah's tragic and suspicious plane crash in the Bahamas. To this day, some fans find the timing difficult to ignore, but even after Aaliyah's passing, rumors say Beyoncé continued to edge out potential threats. After leaving Destiny's Child and partnering with Jay-Z, more whispers started. Word is, she pulled top producer Rich Harrison away from Amory, a rising artist gaining major momentum.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones. And you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have a choice. I really didn't feel like I had a choice. It was do this or this.
If you remember Amory's 2005 hit One Thing, you know it made a big impact, and some believe it laid the foundation for Beyoncé's Crazy in Love. Then there's the controversy with Carrie Hilson, one of Beyoncé's most high-profile disputes. It reportedly began when Carrie released a track viewed as a diss aimed at Beyoncé. But the twist? Carrie later claimed she was pressured by producers to record it, hoping to create conflict and damage her career. At first, Carrie denied any disrespect, but things escalated when she declined to hold a magazine featuring Jay-Z and Beyoncé during a red carpet interview.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Hey, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said
that single act caused major backlash. Beyonce's fan base, the Bayhive, went after her online, and according to some reports, the situation even turned physical. Carrie later shared that by 2020, she was receiving serious threats tied to the incident, and then came claims from Uncle Ron, a former celebrity bodyguard who passed away in November due to pneumonia. Before his death, he alleged that Beyoncé and Jay-Z actively worked to block rising artists. He didn't present it as theory, he spoke like someone with firsthand knowledge of the industry. Let's face it, the list of performers who've reportedly been pushed aside, shut out, or entirely erased by the Carters is growing too long to ignore. We couldn't even fit them all into one video, and that fact alone speaks volumes. Some people still brush it off as jealousy or baseless blame, but when major figures like 50 Cent and Eminem start echoing these claims, it's no longer just talk, it's beginning to look like a repeated pattern. So now, we want to hear from you. Is this all just rumor and resentment, or could there be some truth behind all these stories? Are Jay-Z and Beyoncé really working to silence the competition? Let us know in the comments. We read everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this perspective. We'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned.